I've been waiting to review these for so long and now I finally have them. For those of you who may never have seen these before, these are the Onitsuka Tiger Mexico 66. As you can see, I went for the most vibrant pair. I have seen these all over the internet for the past year or so, and obviously tennis shoes are very in trend right now, so I just had to pick these up and see what the hype is all about. You may have not seen these on the internet before, but you may have seen them from Kill Bill when the bride is fighting in her bright yellow and black tracksuit. And of course she has a pair of these on to match. The brand Onitsuka Tiger has so much history behind it. The brand was founded by the designer Mr. Onitsuka in 1949, who first began designing basketball shoes, and he was determined to inspire positivity in the youth of post-war Japan. The brand attracted Phil Knight, who is the founder of Nike. Back then it was actually known as Blue Ribbon, which I can't get over. Imagine Nike now being called Blue Ribbon. It doesn't make sense. Anyway, Phil Knight went to visit Japan and he stumbled across Onitsuka Tiger, and he loved the design of these trainers so much that he decided to import them from Japan and sell them in America. In fact, the brand is celebrating its 75th anniversary this year, and guess where they are celebrating it? They are celebrating it in Paris Olympics, which is just on brand. And do you know what they're doing to celebrating it? They opened up a hotel. So the hotel is called, obviously, Onitsuka Tiger Hotel, and of course the design of it is yellow and black. The hotel looks insane, and it's also got like a kind of museum so you can go visit. There's installations, art installations there, cafes, things like that. Honestly, if I was going to the Paris Olympics this year, I would 100% be going there. It just looks insane. The brand was relaunched in 2002, and since then we have seen so many celebrities wearing these. I actually saw a picture of Prince William wearing a pair of these. Of course it was not this color, it was definitely a more kind of subtle color, but still they are a very, very popular sneaker. These do retail at £130. I'm going to touch on pricing a little bit later down the line and give you my opinion on the price of these. As I said earlier, this shoe design is very on trend at the moment. You've got this low cut, flexible, thinner sole design going on. It is a kind of like a tennis court shoe design. It was originally designed as a running shoe, so it was designed to be very practical. It's also very, very light on hand, and of course it's probably going to be light on foot. In terms of the design of the sneaker, the main bulk of the upper is made up of this very soft and flexible leather, and then on the toe box it is reinforced with suede. On the side panels, we do have the striking, contrasting black leather logos, which do cross over on the back as well. On the back, you will notice that we do have this suede patch with the tiger logo, which is a really nice extra feature. As for the sole, we do have a very thin sole with a white midsole. The soles are so thin that it's basically like walking barefoot. Even though they were designed as a running shoes, I would definitely not run in them as they are too thin and they do not offer, they're not going to give you that kind of foot or leg support that you need when you are running. You do have to bear in mind, I did read that, as I mentioned before, that these were designed for a running shoe, and the athlete that he originally designed them for was a runner, but that runner used to wear barefoot. So that kind of all makes sense now, because this is literally like a second skin on your foot. In terms of sizing and comfortability, I went for my normal true size, which is a size 7. I did read up some reviews about these and some people were telling me to go size up, but I actually found that these fit perfectly true to size. They do have a very slim fit, though I must say. In terms of my foot, I feel like I have a very average, I don't have a specifically wide foot or a specifically slim fit. My foot's kind of average. So I found these to fit quite comfortable actually. I didn't find them too tight around my feet. When I tried these on, I was actually pleasantly surprised. I thought because they had very thin soles that I was not going to get on with them. They do have that arched insole, which for me really helps because I do have flat feet. However, I feel like I could not wear these, you know, 24/7. I feel like they do make good everyday shoes if you're just nipping to the shops, nipping out for a coffee, just going shopping. They're very easy to get on. They are very, very light, but I do feel like after a while, because I do have flat feet, the thin soles are probably going to be a problem. But I know plenty of people that wear similar shoes like this as just their normal everyday shoe. That's just like a little personal preference for me. They have been compared a lot to the Sambas as they have the same kind of design. However, this does have a much, much thinner sole. Personally, for me, I prefer something that is more unique. So I would go for maybe this kind of style of design, because at the moment, Sambas have been one of those sneakers that has been absolutely plastered everywhere it was on, you know, a really big trend. Possibly it still is. So I feel like if I'm going to commit to a sneaker like this, you know, the low cut, the flexibility, the thin sole, then I'm going to fully commit and go all out. And I really feel like this is literally like a second skin. It feels like you are walking bare feet. Although the Sambas do have a price point of £70, which is quite a lot cheaper than these. These are £130. I feel like £130 is really on that like sitting on the fence price. It's not cheap whatsoever for such a simple shoe, and it's also a little bit pricey, that it makes it, you know, a little bit more bougie, which I guess that comes with a certain kind of look and feel for the shoe, and certain image of the shoe is a bit more luxury. But at the end of the day, I do think that this is still kind of a classic everyday shoe. It's not a designer shoe whatsoever. But yeah, that price point I feel like is a little bit annoying. Like, it's a little bit expensive, but it's not at the same time. I have read through a lot of reviews on these and people swear by them. They do say that they are better by the Sambas. I feel like it's going to take a little while getting used to wearing such a thin shoe, but I'm really excited to try it out. Please let me know in the comments below whether you guys have picked up any of these or you are going to pick them up, and especially those of you who have had them for a long time, what's the durability like? I feel like because they are, you know, there's not that much material on them, that they're not going to last you a really long time, and people tend to use these as an everyday shoe. However, saying that, I feel like these kind of shoes in the Sambas, once they get battered, they still look good. They still fit that kind of aesthetic. If you are not a fan of the yellow and black, and I can totally understand that because these are a bold statement shoe, then there are loads of different variations and colors to choose from if you wanted a more subtle pair. Personally, for me, I feel like because the design is so low-key, the bold yellow and black goes really nicely. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Please do leave a comment below and let me know what you guys are saying about the Onitsuka Tiger Mexico 66s. Really interested to see what you guys are feeling about these. Putting these on was actually such a strange experience for me because I feel like I haven't bought a pair of sneakers that are like this in such a long time, because they are literally so thin. It feels like there is nothing to them, and it does literally feel like your second skin, like you're almost wearing absolutely nothing because of how thin they are. Also, I can't explain to you enough how light these feel on foot, and I guess that's the whole part of the kind of second skin kind of feeling. What I am really liking about these, as I mentioned, I do have flat feet, and they do have in the insole like a bit of an arch support here, which is really good, and I think it's definitely needed because just look at that sole. Because of how thin these do actually feel, I do feel like I could run a marathon in them because I just feel so light on my feet. But I am guessing that after a while I can kind of feel every single thing under my foot. Obviously I'm on carpet, so it's a bit different, but if I was walking like on cobblestones or anything that had some kind of texture to it, that is one thing that probably is going to be annoying, because you can literally feel every single thing. There isn't, you know, much thickness going on in the sole. So if you are going on maybe like a terrain walk, then these definitely aren't going to be comfortable. Also, I do notice more that I can feel it in my heel, which is a bit strange because obviously we have a thicker sole here than we have up here, but I feel like, I don't know if it's maybe the way I walk, I can literally feel the ground in my heel, and I think that is probably going to annoy me after a long time of wearing them, especially if I'm going on any kind of walks, because I feel like my heel might as well just be on the floor. I think for me these would be perfect for maybe a light kind of intensity support like badminton. They are very flexible, as you can see. I can literally bend my foot wherever and there is no kind of rigidness in the material, and that is of course because of the kind of soft leather that they do have. So yeah, a sport like badminton would be great, or a casual walk, or if I am going out for the day, but I just personally wouldn't wear these for any kind of long walks. I feel already, honestly, that my heel, as I mentioned, is starting to bother me already, and I've only been wearing these for 5 minutes. But as I have said, I am very flat and heavy footed, so most of my trainers, I do need a little bit more support, and of course, as we have mentioned a trillion times, the support is not really giving here because of this thin sole.